Thank you so much for joining us today. I have Aruna with me, and we're going to be talking about AI and some maturity models. But before we dive into the questions that I have for you, can you give everybody an introduction?
Thanks, Emma. Thanks for having me here, and thanks for the invitation. And hello to your audience as well. I must say, I've been watching all your episodes. They are fantastic. So I like the way you choose the topics on digital transformation. They're quite informative. So I'm quite excited to be here. And in terms of my background, I've been in the data analytics space for nearly 21 years or so now. So I've started my career as a SaaS consultant for a company called SAS, which was an analytical company, and then held on many senior and executive leadership roles, over the years. I currently head the AI and data science practice for HCL Technologies, which is a global company are across 50 countries. I look after their Asia Pacific and Middle East region. In terms of, I've delivered many digital transformation and data analytics solutions covering financial crimes, credit risk, anti-money laundering, regulation, compliance, so on and so forth. I'm highly passionate about AI and data science, and on the ethical and responsible AI and how we can improve women's representation in AI. I'm a thought leader, blogger, mentor. I create engaging animated videos on demystifying the concept of AI and how it helps in business transformation. You can look at my work on AI outside of my work. And I've got a website called arunapattam.com and my YouTube channel as well. That's a short intro about myself. Emma?
Great. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you joining me. I too am a fan of your YouTube channel and the videos that you've been producing.
Thank you.
So today I want to get us started by kind of opening it up by sharing your thoughts on how AI fits into the larger idea of digital transformation and maybe what companies should be doing to embrace AI today.
Yeah, that's a quick question. So, AI and digital transformation, they go in together. So, in fact, AI plays a major role in digital transformation. It has been recognized that AI is one of the enabler for digital transformation across industries such as financial services, telecom, utilities, and retail, and so on and so forth. The impact of AI on digital transformation is more relevant now because the organizations have started harnessing the power of data. They've started using AI and ML technologies to be able to process huge volumes of data to help with their improving productivity. But apart from productivity, they're using these technologies to be able to come up with better products and services and expand the market, and also come up with new innovative strategies. For example, one of the things any company wants to do is create a 360-degree view of the customer. And digital transformation, one of the key role is to be able to get that complete view of the customer, their personas and their buyer behaviors. And for the success of digital transformation, you need to get this understanding at the very early stage of the digital transformation. And this is where AI can really help. AI can look through the patterns. It can identify the transactions and also the digital engagement channels the customer go to. So this will help in creating a complete detailed picture about the customers. Customers these days want more personalized services throughout that journey, and this is where AI can quickly unlock those insights and come up with personalized offerings. And this sort of gives a competitive advantage for the customer. So that's where I see AI playing a very, very critical role on digital transformation. In terms of how companies embrace AI, the first thing I would say is, AI strategy. That's very important. Without AI strategy, failing to have one will put you in a disadvantage. You will not be able to take advantage of your competitors, the employees, and the consumers that you have, right? So having an AI strategy will help you give a structure and a framework. It not only helps in looking at your core components of your operation, but also look at the how to optimize the internal resources that you have. Strategy is the first thing that I would say is required for embracing AI.
Great. So I want to take that and run with it and dive into this idea of how to implement an AI strategy. And I kind of teased it during our introduction, but if you could share some of your thoughts on kind of an AI maturity assessment and how that can help guide strategy as well, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. There's three simple steps for implementation of strategy. AI, I would say, is the first one is do a assessment, do an analysis of where you are with your current capabilities. So where you are and where you want to be. That's the first thing. Then you do conduct a gap analysis and identify what are the capabilities that you have currently that you need to address some of the gaps to be able to get to the next level that you're looking for. And third is to come up with initiatives and roadmap which focuses on addressing the gaps. So first, find out where you are, where you want to be going, what is the gaps that you currently have that is preventing you to go to the future state, and come up with initiatives and roadmaps to actually get yourself to that future state. So that's the sort of simple three-step model. And one of the things that really helps organizations, one of the challenges I see is that how do we go about, going about this journey of AI? So this is where maturity assessment plays a very important role. There are various forms of maturity assessment or models out there. They usually give you a framework or a structure which helps you to understand your current capabilities that you have, and how should you actually prioritize in investments so that you can get to the AI adoption stage. So that's a nice framework. That means there are different AI maturity model that exists out there, but they all focus around these six key components or capabilities or dimensions, you can call them. The first one is, of course, the strategy, having a well-defined thought through strategy. Second would be the people. You need to understand the roles and the responsibilities required for the successful adoption of AI. Number three would be the process. So you need to have a well thought through process, not only to identify opportunities that will use AI, but also to be able to measure value from these opportunities of AI implementation. The fourth would be the data, which is again very important as AI uses a lot of data. So you need to have a mature data, strong data foundation and a mature data governance model in place to cater to the AI data needs. The next one would be the technology, of course, the tools and the techniques that is required and the workflows for successful AI implementation. Last but not the least is the ethics and the governance. You need to have strong policies and procedures to make sure that you are using AI in an ethical and responsible and a safe way. So these are all the six capabilities, and the maturity assessment model sort of helps you to put an organization into different stages depending on these capabilities that they have. You start off with the exploratory phase where in this stage organization are still trying to build awareness of AI. Then you go into a developing phase where you're now starting to build POCs and pilots to explore, to look at value that AI can be derived. Third, now from developing, you go into more of a defined stage. This is where you are moving from the pilot stage into implementing those models into production. The next from the defined would be the advanced stage. This is where you will have a factory based model implementation and productionization of models. And the final stage would be the leading. So this is where organizations have got a well-oiled AI implementation in place. All the critical business processes have got AI in them to help drive change, and they become the leaders and start putting best practices and stuff. So this is a framework which helps you not only know your current capabilities in terms of the six dimensions I've just mentioned, but also where you are in this stage of the AI maturity, and what are the things you need to address in these capabilities to actually take you to the next level of the stage.
Great. You just dropped so much tangible like goodness for everybody joining us. I'm a little excited about that. And I
Thank
want
you.
to dive into one area where I don't think we have a whole lot of conversation in the world of digital transformation and AI. And it's that kind of like, I think, the second dimension that you mentioned in people and really looking at talent. So, a couple of questions like, do we have the right talent base today, knowing that this is emerging technology? Do we have enough of that talent? And what suggestions do you have for organizations in developing and kind of driving that talent base in AI a bit further?
That's an excellent question, Emma, because that's one of the key things that I see for a success of an AI implementation. As you mentioned, that it is an emerging and new technology. So people talent is a challenge, for not only the current and also for the future demands, right? So even recently, I wrote an article about a week or so ago how two leaders need to do to address the AI talent gap. So I think we need to think a little differently here. I would say there are two ways, internally and externally. I would start internally. First is to identify individuals within the various business units and who are enthusiastic about AI. They know a little bit of AI and they wanted to sort of very supportive of it. They identify these individuals and make them as thought leaders, right? So their job is to spread more awareness about AI and also help in defining a right training plan for the team. Second, I would say is start upskilling and reskilling the workforce, right? So you not only focus on the technical aspects, but also the critical thinking and creativity. That's where you will start using AI innovatively to be able to solve different business challenges and problems. The other thing would be you should start coming up with conferences and innovation labs where we can showcase some of the AI capabilities and use cases, how you are able to take a business problem and address the problem through these AI solutions. That will generate interest and curiosity among the various people. And other thing that you can do in terms of addressing the talent is, rather than looking at one person as a specialist in everything, look for a team. For example, rather than looking for a unicorn data scientist, which is really hard to get by, you would create a team with complementary skill sets so they can work collaboratively and complement each other. That's on the internal. Once you have explored the internal, of course, you can also reach out to external channels for, get the right AI talent you need. Go directly to the market, get the right skilled people that you're looking for. Young talent pool is a great way. Go to universities, do some hackathons, get the young talent pool who have got a different perspectives and way of thinking, which is often very useful. The next would be to reach out to your partners and consultants. They usually have a rich talent pool that you can tap into. So I think depending upon where you are in the organization, you need to sort of mix and match some of these strategies.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and share all of your AI wisdom with us today. I want to take a moment again and encourage anybody who is not already following you on LinkedIn to make their way over to your page, follow her, and then also check out the YouTube channel and all the other resources that she mentioned, your website. At the beginning of our session today, you will continue to learn lots and lots about the world of AI. But thank you so much for your time. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a wonderful day. If you're looking for expert tips on how to get started with your transformation or looking to hone in on your approach, make sure that you subscribe to our channel to catch our weekly Digital Transformation Talk series, where we interview experts from around the world on how to make it happen.